hoping you can all see it. See the dice decently enough. Rolls and things. But perfect. Okay. No more moving things. Anyways, welcome back to Rose Warrior Gaming. We're jumping into a Dice Decides for this lovely Tuesday. I don't know if I'm just gonna... My planned Tuesday and Thursday streams are going to be just solely Dice Decides until we get through this game, or if I'm gonna do Dice Decides on Tuesday and then Thursday I'll do something else. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind at this point. But it is what it is. I do not know when WarCloud now will be back on Destiny 2, but we do plan to bring you guys more content in the future. But most importantly, before I get too far into this, how am I sounding? Perfect. That is all I wanted to know. Fabulous. Okay. So welcome to The Devil in Me. The part I did not show you guys is I actually rolled 4 different dice to decide what order we do the Dark Pictures Anthology for Dice Decides, because I want to do all 4 games, but we obviously did not have to do them in order. Honestly, I should have done it where I rolled to see what games we do for Dice Decides in what order, but it's not what I did. But first up on the itinerary is The Devil in Me, which is the last game in the series thus far to come out. After that, it'll be House of Ashes, which I love that the dice decided to give me my 2 favorite of the 4 favorite of the 4 games first. The Devil in Me is, I don't know if I'd say my favorite, but it's definitely that one, between that one and, well, actually, no, House of Ashes was not a favorite. That was a little hope. Anyway, never mind. Ignore me what I'm saying. But House of Ashes would be up next. Not that House of Ashes is a bad game, I just... The story was a little slow going for my liking, I think, and it kind of bores me a little bit at the beginning. But it's overall a great game, and I have replayed it a couple times. Then after House of Ashes, it'll be Man of Medan. There's a lot of love and hate for that game, I have to admit. But I have found more love for it as I delve deeper into it, so maybe that'll happen with House of Ashes, who knows. And then we'll close it out with Little Hope. Assuming that the creators of the Dark Pictures Anthology don't release the first game of the second, of Phase 2 or whatever the heck they call it. So that is where that is. But we're going into The Devil in Me, which the Dark Pictures Anthologies has okay, I wouldn't say significantly, but less characters than both Until Dawn and The Quarry. If you don't remember, The Quarry had I believe 9 characters. Yeah, 9. And Until Dawn had, I believe, 6 playable characters, but then you had Hannah and Beth that you played in the prologue. which would make 8. These games, the Dark Picture Anthology, you have 5 playable characters for the main game and then 2 for the prologue. So I'm going to use 1 dice specifically for prologue characters, and then I need 5 dice for each of our main story characters. Because every time the character switches out, I'm going to switch the dice. It's going to be a whole thing. Unfortunately, unlike The Quarry and Until Dawn, this doesn't have chapters to it necessarily. Not defined chapters anyways. Or super defined chapters, where I'd be like, oh yeah, that's the end of that chapter. No. So, what we're going to do is basically I'm just going to go for an hour. So, we'll get to picking our dice and then we'll jump into the devil in me. For this game, I don't know. For the prologue characters, I definitely want to use black and red. Hopefully you guys can see the number on that. It's incredibly tiny on my screen, but you should be able to see that. I apologize if you don't. So we have Charlie, Aaron, Jamie, Kate, and Mark. Mark strikes me as blue. I think I'll give Charlie green. I should really be writing this down. Sticky note. Let's see if this pen will actually write for me this time. God dang it. Alright. Do this. So I said Charlie was green. Mark is blue. So we got Aaron, Jamie, and Kate left. Aaron gives me more pink than anything else. Do a bright red for Jamie. Then we're left with Kate. We'll do this one. It's like purple for Kate. And these guys. We'll go back in the bag for the next dice decides. Alright. Now we'll use the Prologue dice in there. Okay. Don't fall asleep on me. Let's start on that. There are different ways to play the game, obviously. So we'll talk about that a little bit quick. Before we get into this game, though, I want to I'll leave it there. You, my friends, are going to slide over here. They're all getting all messed up, but that's fine. But I've made a master list of all the characters from all the games. You guys see it on the side there. I'm just going to take some time now to go through the 2 games that we've already played and who has survived those games as of right now. We did Until Dawn first. Ashley did not survive. Obviously, Beth did not survive. I have a whole different section for the Prologue characters. Jessica did not survive. Neither did Matt or Mike. And I'm not counting Hannah as dead, because we're just counting dead. Because despite the fact that she, at the end of the game, is a Wendigo, she's technically still alive. You know, technicalities and whatnot. Also, that is also why I'm not counting Josh as dead, because he is technically still alive, despite the fact that he's now a Wendigo like his sister Hannah. We did not have such significant losses with the quarry, but we still lost Dylan, Caitlin, and Nick. Our 2 Prologue characters survived. I am going to revisit the quarry at some point. But when I do, that might change the fate of Dylan and Caitlin. And quite frankly, the rest of the characters. And that did not make the night. So, this is the standing as of the very first playthrough of these games. I think the only game I might not, because as we get into this game, you'll find out why I say this, but the only game that I probably won't revisit in any type of way is Until Dawn. So the characters that have died in Until Dawn, unfortunately, that is their final standing. is what is. I do have, like I said, the prologue characters in a separate place because they are technically playable characters, but sometimes they don't. Most of the time, you don't have a say in what the outcome is for them. The game kind of pre-decides that, which is why I put them in prologue. The only two characters in the prologue character list here that you do in one way or another affect their outcome is Laura and Max, because you do end up playing them later in the main game, but they are still technically prologue characters, so I still included them there. We will be crossing out final tally of who survived on this master list at the end of the game of Devil in Me. But I will be keeping tabs on the characters who survive on this little note card here, or who we think survived at any given time. So, this is our who has survived thus far, and the prologue characters are on the card. And then our dice, which I will bring back. Mark was blue, Charlie was green, Aaron was pink, Jamie was red, and Kate. Okay, so if you're new to the Dice Decide, or if you want a refresher on how this works, we're already 20 minutes in. It's fine. It's fine. Or you want a refresher on how this works, basically, we roll one of these lovely d6s here, and whether it rolls an even or an odd will decide the decision I make in the game for certain, not for like the quick time events, but like the choices made. The odds are left or down. Sometimes I might use the dice to determine if we do or don't do something. So the odds would also be a no in that situation. If we roll an evens, that is to the right or up, and would constitute as a yes in a do-we-don't we situation. That's how that works. I believe that is it. I'll slide that down a little. Might not be able to read it, but I don't care. These guys and include them down here. So you visual reminders there of how this works. So basically, I'm not deciding anything as far as what happens in the game, as far as the decisions made, like when we get to the choices. I'm letting the dice determine that. And as you just saw, I have different colored dice for each character. Once a character has perished, I will be removing their dice from the lineup here. So, let us get into the Devil in Me. So with the Devil in Me, you can play it you have a couple different play options. If you click on Don't Play Alone, it gives you Movie Night, which is where you pass the controller and play the story together in a group of 2 to 5 players. I've done this with my boys on occasion. They do, like, my oldest one does, like, creepier games, and this seems to be okay enough for him. Some of the, maybe not The Devil in Me, but like Man of Medan we've done. And then we have Shared Story, where you can play online with a friend. So like I'm playing on my Xbox, I could play online with, say, Gothic, or one of the other guys if I wanted, but that's that. The other game, The Quarry and Until Dawn did not have that capability. Those are completely single-player games. Otherwise, we have the Play Alone, which is your own single-player story. You have the collectibles, which you can view your collectibles, which will help you unlock more of the story. Inside, and there's bonus features, obviously. This is taking a look at the anthology. Man of Medan is the first game that came out. It will be the third game that we do, I believe I said. Little Hope is the last game of these 4 that we will do. It is the second game to come out. House of Ashes is the second game that we will do, and is the third game that came out. And then The Devil in Me is the game that we are currently going to do. It is the last of the series of 4 that came out. And there's, I believe it's intended to be 4 more games. But I've heard whispers that there could potentially be more. I guess we'll have to see what the developer decides to do. But we'll be jumping into The Devil in Me, which is a game that revolves around the story of a group of documentary filmmakers who receive a mysterious invite to a replica of the murder castle of H.H. Holmes, America's first serial killer. They soon discover that they're being watched. There is much more at stake than just their viewing figures. So this will be fun. I'm not going to get too into the collectibles right now, but we'll hop into the Play Alone. And the cool thing is, Play Alone has... no, we're not going to continue a story. We're going to do a nude story. Forgiving, because we want to see the story, not struggle. I love the corner. The little thing down the corner. But anyways. They have theatrical cut and then a curator's cut. Go through the theatrical version first. For all the first playthroughs, and then once we've gone through the theatrical version of all 4 games, we might go back, probably at a later time, because I don't want to bore you guys on Dice Decides, and do the curator's cut. Decisions save lives. Others
The wheel
Use
is
wisely.
264 feet, Jeff. Can you imagine it?
Well, we're not choosing.
I'm attempting to.
The dice are
I bet you
deciding
can see
for
for
us on what
100
the
miles
hell
at
we're
the top.
doing.
We should make that our first priority.
Whatever pleases you the most.
You please me the most.
You mean you are not weary of me after an entire day of marriage?
I will never be weary of you.
I shall hold you to that, my dear. I think we've arrived.
So this is Marie and Jeff. They're newlyweds.
Isn't this grand?
As advertised.
At the hotel.
Very
Patriots
nice.
Homes.
Let's check in.
Are we the only ones here?
I'm sure there was a mad dash first thing this morning to get to the fair.
Try again?
Well, this does not bode well for the level of service we're in store for.
Use R to choose. This is what I mean. Odds. Left.
Let's not wait till tomorrow morning. Let's sign in and go straight there.
We're not going anywhere if no one checks us in.
Slow service. That means they're making sure everything is perfect.
That's my Marie, always finding that silver lining.
My sincere
Oh.
apologies for both startling you and for making you wait. My attention was
To do with thing
needed
so I
elsewhere.
don't get confused again.
I promise from here on out it will be nothing but silver linings. Welcome to the World's Fair Hotel. Please, sign in here. First time in Chicago? I'm going to hazard a guess and assume you're here to take in the exposition.
The fair, yes, but that's not all. Today is a very special day for us.
Oh, a honeymoon. How very, very lovely.
Perhaps my wife, Mrs. Whitman, would like to sign. Yes, today's the beginning of our honeymoon.
Congratulations. In that case, an
World's
upgrade
Fair
is in order. A honeymoon suite it is.
Oh, well, are the rates that much higher?
I think nothing of it. The same rates as your regular room. The upgrade is on us. You're our first honeymooners.
How kind. Thank you, Mr.
Holmes. Henry Howard Holmes.
You have a lovely hotel, Mr. Holmes.
Well, thank you very much. I designed and built most of it myself.
You're an architect, then?
Architect, designer, builder, doctor, artist. I'm a man of many interests.
Impressive.
Please have a look around. We have sundries and gifts at the pharmacy counter. I'll take your luggage up to your room and ensure that everything is in order. Just make a note if you decide to purchase anything, and we will add it to your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. We appreciate it.
The pleasure is all mine.
What did I forget to bring?
Question. Dice. Oh.
Oh, pardon me, miss.
Careful, you. My husband gets awfully cross with men who act fresh.
He sounds like a ripe fellow. How's the marriage going?
Lovely. Thanks for asking.
Well, let's just head up. I'm sure the room is ready.
See anything good over there at the jewelry counter? Anything fancy?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Wonder what's in here.
I'm starting to think I've gone and married a thrill seeker. Ferris wheels, forbidden rooms. Are we looking for excitement?
Perhaps.
Nothing but an unfinished room. See what happens when you chase a thrill?
If this is you trying to get out of the Ferris wheel.
I know you won't be denied.
Wait, what's that? Don't move. That was a thrill.
You won't think it's thrilling if we're sleeping on the street after getting kicked out of here. Let's go.
Welcome, newlyweds, to the honeymoon suite.
Thank you kindly, Mr. Holmes.
Do enjoy your stay. If you'll excuse me, I have work to return to. I'm sure we'll see each other again soon.
Goodness, this place is fit for a king.
Or my queen.
Oh, you. Kiss this.
That is not very wifely of you.
Hey!
Ah! Bullseye!
You asked for it.
Should I be frightened?
If you're smart.
Mercy, mercy! Okay, you win.
Anything broken?
Only my pride. How about a peace offering?
This feels like some sort of treacherous plot.
Not at all.
Hey, game, why are you
I
being
have a
funky?
gift for you. Close your eyes and face the mirror.
Aren't you clever and romantic? If I get a pillow to the face, I will sock you right in the kisser. Is there a problem?
No. Open your eyes.
Oh, Jeff, it's lovely. I love it.
Good. Victory is mine. I'll let you have that bath now.
It's jammed shut.
Maybe if we put a little weight into it? Open sesame!
Thank you. Why don't you have a shave while I take a
Sesame.
quick bath? Then we can reconvene.
I know that word. It's French for something illicit.
Shush. Shave.
I think I forgot to pack my razor and kit.
I'm sure the pharmacy downstairs has them.
Don't be too long in that bath.
Don't you worry.
I'd say this might be the longest prologue of any of the games, but that's wrong. All of them are kind of this length.
I could have sworn this was the way we came up. What? Oh my God. Marie!
Through the tub. Now I get ready to be rolling.
Is that you, darling? Jeff? Oh, are we playing another game?
Even.
Back already? You know, this tub is awfully big. I think there might be room for another body. Oh. That's nice. You don't know your own strength. Easy, dear. Jeff, that hurts.
Hello, my dear. Quiet now. We don't want to disturb the other guests.
Let go of me! Let go!
I really thought you'd have a little more fight in you.
Jeff! Jeff!
There we are. Nice and quiet.
Poor Marie.
What are you doing? If you've touched Marie, I'll...
You're a bit late with that sentiment, good sir. Is there a problem, sir?
Marie!
Fun fact, there's a different way that Marie could potentially die. Jeff unfortunately dies the same way every time.
A place for everything. Everything in its place.
Wow, look at this.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Only the best for you, my dear.
Mother would simply die. It's so
I say,
opulent.
good man, do you work here?
Hello. Welcome to the World's Fair Hotel.
Won't you spare me over till another year?
Now, he works my playthrough of the inpatient. Jeff, as the developer.
Well, what is this that I can't
Their
see?
game. Some of them are-
If I see hands getting hold of me,
I do not know all of where you can. I do.
can't excel.
Well, Marie, there. Louise will not be. But Jeff, you can see it. And his character did not live there. lived in that game. There's one other. Of the 5 main characters, there's one other one. Character model. Avatar. That I know is in another game.
Oh, you're here. Have you been waiting long? Welcome back. I do enjoy seeing a familiar face. Last time, no one survived. I wonder if you were even trying.
The last playthrough I did on my own
It's
personal
so
time
good
before
to
this.
have company. For a long time, I was on my own. I
Intentionally.
can barely recall
killed
a
everybody.
time when I wasn't here, watching over these tales. And what good are stories without somebody to experience them? This is a story about those who create, and the lengths they might go to for their art to be made pure. Art can elicit all sorts of reactions. Delight, inspiration, desire, yes, but also doubt, fear, dread. The way you react, the decisions you make, would affect this story. Hidden in the world, you'll find dark pictures. They give glimpses of the possible consequences of your choices. And sometimes it's the smallest choices that can have the biggest repercussions. You're responsible for what happens. You're culpable.
Now that I saw.
I can't interfere. That's very much
Speaking
against the
of.
rules. I can only observe what happens and record any significant events. Oh. Ever seen one of these? They're very old. People used to call them obols. They'd put them in the mouth of the recently deceased to pay the ferryman. Look out for them. You'll find them in the strangest places. I'll be happy to exchange any that you find, and I'll certainly make it worth your while.
I've never found them all,
Well, shall we start? Game is afoot.
but not for lack of
I will be watching.
Okay, game. Perfect. So we're gonna pause here. Now I'm gonna take. Well, what time is it? If it were any other week, this summer, or the next coming weeks, I would say that I would have to cut it off here. However, you guys get lucky. Because the reason I would have to cut it off here on any other night would be because my well, at the moment it's just my youngest child has summer school in the morning, but he does not have summer school tomorrow morning in observation of Juneteenth, so we will continue on, give you guys a little more content, especially considering we've only gotten through the prologue. How boring is that? So I'm going to break for a couple minutes to get a drink and to well, we only made one choice. Game. That's also a thing with this game. if you notice that there's heart and brain choices, you can go through the game making only heart choices or only brain choices. I didn't want to do that for these playthroughs, just because it's kind of boring. And people might have already done that, so Dice Decides is more fun. But, I'm gonna take a quick break to grab something to drink, go to the bathroom, all the things, and then we'll hop back in.